Hello everyone and welcome back to this humble abode of gameplay and memes. Today I return to you with more Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever. It is going to be yet another replay cast, so here we go. Before we start, I just quickly wanted to mention that if you enjoy the video, definitely leave a like and subscribe and ring the bell in order to get the videos faster and yeah, to help me out, because you know, liking and subscribing doesn't cost you anything but helps me out tremendously. But anyway, on to today's game. So since this is going to be my 10th uploaded cast, I wanted to do something special for this one. In this particular instance, I at first wanted to do a cast of Seton's Clutch, one of the most popular and most interesting maps in all of Supreme Commander. You know, the classic Seton! But then I decided that I'll go a step further and make it even more special by instead casting a replay on the larger version called the Seton's Isle. This is basically the Seton's Clutch but expanded, with all of the areas that are supposedly around it included for your pleasure. And the map is 40 by 40 kilometers and has about 37,000 reclaim on it, most of it once again in the middle, just like you usually have on Setons, but also in addition you've got some juicy reclaim near the beach positions in order to help them out, help them combat the mass advantage that the rock usually has, and also some rocks on the mountains that you can, I'm pretty sure you can only access those with transport. I might be wrong though. We'll see today. Another interesting feature of this map is those units in the middle, or near the middle, near the starting bases. These are civilians, but they don't attack you when you approach them. These are completely neutral, completely inert, and you can capture or reclaim them in order to use them against your enemies. So that's also another really cool feature. But anyway, let's go ahead and start introducing our players, because it's kind of long overdue already. Starting off with Team 1 in the green corner. On the mid position, we've got Branane, or Branane, I'm not entirely sure how you're supposed to pronounce that, at 500 rank points, playing UEF in Winter Wipeout White, going first land. On the beach position, it is going to be RatFeast at 400 rank points, playing Cybran in Power Play Purple, going first air. On the rock position, we're going to have ourselves KillzGoat at 500 rank points, playing Aeon in Venomous Green, going first air as well. And last but not least, we've got the top-rated player of today's match. It is going to be Killer Bean 55 at 1000 rank points, playing UEF in Road Rage Red, going first air. So 3 out of 4 players on Team 1 going first air. This isn't what you usually see on Setons, but we'll see how that works out for them. We'll see indeed. Maybe they've got some really cool plans that we don't know about. Anyway, moving on to Team 2. In the blue corner, on the mid position, we are going to have Uchiha Izumi, which I'm pretty sure is a Naruto reference. I've never heard of a character with that name because I've never watched Naruto, but I'm pretty sure it's from there. Anyway, at 700 rank points, playing Aeon in Emerald Green, going first land. On the beach position, we are going to be watching Godefroyy, or something along those lines. At 400 rank points, playing Cybran in Coordinate Red, going first land. On the rock position, we are going to have ourselves Armageddon 1988 at 700 rank points, playing Aeon. Once again, lots of Aeon in this game. In Blues Blue, going first air. Also, sorry, this guy also went first air. I said land, but it was actually air. And last but not least, for Team 2 and for this particular game, we are going to have ourselves Kivai, or Kivai, at 400 rank points, playing UEF in Color Confusion Cyan, going first air. So yes, plenty of first air on all sides. We're actually only got 2 players going first land, everybody else is going first air. So this is already looking quite promising, and yes, you might notice that the average rank points of the players in this game are a little bit below what you usually see on this channel. Well, that is the other part of how today's cast is going to be special. Because not only is it going to be the super expanded, super massive SETONS, it is also going to be a Joe game. Somebody would even say below average Joes. So yes, a quick disclaimer. You know, whenever I point out mistakes those players make, and we know I might even laugh a little bit about them, we'll see about that. It is not meant to like disrespect them or make fun of them or whatever, you know. I often make lots of stupid plays and mistakes that when I look back at them I'm like, oh my god, why did I do that? It makes no sense at all, but alas, such is life. Yeah, so whenever I point out the mistakes, I just wanted to say that it's basically a chance for you, as well as for me, to learn what not to do, and perhaps what to do instead. We'll see if we can figure that out as well, as we go along. So yes, it looks like, oh yes, already the players utilizing the civilian structures, Branane capturing the radar. I don't think KillzGoat is doing anything of the sort. However, you should already be noticing the difference between the starting builds for the mid players. You can see that Branane is already almost to the middle, already almost getting his hands on the reclaim, actually already reclaiming stuff, while by contrast Izumi is not. He's going to be staying behind for now, or they are going to be. No idea if they're male or female. I feel like this name might be female, but I could be totally wrong. Once again, never heard of that character. Yes, Izumi going to be staying behind, constructing up a couple more factories before moving on, so that might cause some problems in terms of the mass difference between the two players. First, scouts flying out, as well as an attack bomber out from Kivai. In the meantime, we've got our first transport landing on the island, which is supposed to be belonging to Armageddon 1988. On the opposite side, the transport for KillzGoat has already landed, not doing anything right now though. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there you go, Armageddon going first and foremost for a factory, and then for something else. So the bomber out from Kivai has actually been spotted by enemy scouts. We will see if that accomplishes anything or not, because currently they don't have interceptors, they just have scouts. And yes, reclaim you can already see going the way of, actually it's not going the way of them at all. Branane is attempting to construct a plasma cannon in the middle in order to protect the reclaim. However, this does give Izumi a chance to catch up. First bombs are being dropped. Oh, bags 4 engineers. I'm pretty sure that was 4 engineers already. Yeah, 4 kills. There you go. Already vet 1, paying off dramatically. Another set of bombs is going to drop, kill 1 engineer. It looks like they are attempting to construct a railgun, which could save them from the bomber, but so many more engineers will die while the railgun is being constructed. Oh my goodness, look at this. The generators are already threatened. The railgun still incomplete. There we go, the railgun completes, but another set of bombs drops. Oh, 8 generators lost. I'm pretty sure this bomber has paid off like 20-fold at this point. The interceptors from Killer Bean arrive, but they are a little bit late, so yes. Izumi is sending mass to other players of their teammates. It looks like, oh, Rhino tanks from Branane, which were just captured near the middle, are engaging, shooting up Izumi's commander, who doesn't seem to mind too much. I mean, this is just 2 rhinos, you know. There is no way they can kill your ACU, especially, oh, an overcharge destroys both of them at once. Not a very efficient use of rhinos, let me tell you that. How did Izumi deal with those? It looks like Izumi isn't doing anything with those, but yeah, so 2 rhinos lost just like that for Branane. Probably not too happy about that. Now he's for some reason sending labs against the Aurora tanks, which is never going to work. I'm not entirely sure why he's doing that. It looks like, yes, both rock players are setting up really well on their islands, you know, slowly but surely, starting from just 1 engineer. Armageddon is claiming that island. Usually it's a good idea to get 2 or more engineers on the island as you're dropping them, because, you know, 1 engineer could easily die, and then your expansion will stop. Interestingly enough, an airdrop by RatFeast behind Armageddon's lines. So RatFeast is already going quite heavily into Navy indeed. It looks like he's already got 5 naval factories producing at base, and 4 more will be constructed behind the enemy lines. Very interesting, but Armageddon himself, not to be outdone, has already gone for Tech 2 Navy. I think it was at 8 minutes into the game. We can actually see Tech 2 Naval HQ upgrade done. Oh well, we can see the can't see the time unfortunately, but yes, it is not only done, he's now pumped out the first ship, and for some reason it's a cruiser. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how an Aeon cruiser is supposed to deal with 8 or 10 incoming frigates. Well, it's 9 right now, but it will be more. We've got some fighting in the middle still. Branane needs to be extremely careful. There's a whole host of tanks here from... Who's that again? From Izumi. Yeah, Izumi was upgrading, which is why Branane was going aggressive, but now he has to run away. Yeah, 20 tanks, 14 artillery pieces, a rhino approaching as well, so it looks like Izumi also captured the rhinos. Cyan, take your mix, says Godefroyy. I am assuming he is referring to the mass extractors that are behind. Those are also a recent or a new addition to this particular version of SETONS. Yeah, you really should take over these. No reason to let them just sit there and do nothing. The cruiser is retreating. Yeah, of course, I mean, yeah, I'm still not sure. Like, if it was a Cybran cruiser, you know, that would make a little bit more sense. The Cybran cruiser has this long-range radar, which can spot the enemy frigates from afar and then eliminate them as they are approaching. But as it stands, this cruiser does not seem to be accomplishing much as of right now. RatFeast should be, yeah, RatFeast is mass and energy stalling quite heavily indeed. You know, that's what happens when you're making naval units with 6 factories. Oh, but Branane blows up. Oh yes, it was an Oblivion cannon built by Izumi. He managed to destroy Branane, and now we will see. Whoop! This game is not played as full share, so this is usually not what happens on SETONS, you know. Usually when you're playing SETONS, you do enable full share. So it's just the rules, you know, I don't make them. Yeah, the cruiser, like I said, accomplishing precisely nothing, getting sunk by the opposing frigates. They also destroy the Tech 2 naval factory, so all around a bunch of bad choices by Armageddon, it seems. And even though, you know, RatFeast's economy is in complete dumpster, he's still managing to pull ahead somehow and completely knock his opponent out of the naval game, which is, I'm sure, is going to have long-term implications. There is a gunship out from Armageddon attacking now, but you know, one gunship can't really deal with so many frigates, because yes, they do have their own anti-air cannons, and Cybran frigates are notoriously like the best frigates. I'm not entirely sure they have the best anti-air, but that could also be the case. Interceptors out from Killer Bean flying overhead, but it looks like, yes, the position of Izumi is now going to be extremely fortified. There's even a flak cannon specifically for cheeky mercy snipes or anything like that. Alright, what is the status on our air game? It looks like, oh yes, so Killer Bean has already transitioned to T3 air, will shortly start work on their first T3 power generator, or not. Making another T2 power generator for some reason, also making a whole bunch of T2 air transports. Alright, it looks like he's not rushing towards T3 air quite yet. Has another T2 air factory which is currently upgrading to T3. And not stalling, surprisingly, and he is working with quite a lot of mass, so seems like it will succeed for now. On the opposite side of the world, we've got a T2 air factory just getting done. Headquarters just getting done for Kivai, and he's now standing AFK. Not entirely sure what that is all about. And yes, the frigates out from RatFeast are now harassing the shores of Kivai. He is building a plasma cannon, so if RatFeast doesn't pay too much attention, those frigates can be destroyed quite easily. We'll see if that happens though. Another squadron of frigates arrives at the island, which for some reason contains a Tech 2 air factory headquarters for Armageddon. I am not entirely sure what's happening here. He's got a Tech 2 headquarters at home, upgrading to T3 as we speak, but also another headquarters on the island, which is now making mercies. Yeah, I don't think mercies will work too well against frigates who have a very large radar radius. Probably won't. Yes, so RatFeast is still mass stalling. Has he got himself any T2 mass extractors yet? I can't see a single one for some reason. He's almost upgraded one now, but yeah, it is taking forever. This is not how we usually play Navy, because at this point, yeah, there you go, Armageddon is already working with, you know, 3 T2 mass extractors, 4 even. Should probably even have more at this point, but he is so busy, like, has wasted quite a bit of mass on all these anti-air turrets. This is not what you usually do. Usually it's much easier to build a land factory and then make some T1 mobile units. They will be a lot cheaper, and they will cover the entire island all the same. It looks like KillzGoat is going quite aggressive against Godefroyy on the other side of the world. The first naval destroyer is about to come out from Godefroyy. However, it looks like there are already 3 destroyers on the way out from KillzGoat, and a cruiser and a Vesper. Of course, you know, a Vesper can only do so much against an opposing destroyer, but when the destroyer isn't approaching, it will actually sink quite a few submarines. Might even gain veterans here. Let's see when it kills the other submarine. It's trying to attack a frigate, should be attacking submarines. Nope, doesn't quite manage. Oh. Well, yes, it doesn't quite manage to vet up. I'm pretty sure it's getting... Oh, there you go, there's veterans, okay? A rank 1 veteran Vesper. Very nicely done. I'm pretty sure it should be sinking sometime soon because the destroyer isn't moving at all, so it will be an extremely easy target for KillzGoat's navy. Yeah, KillzGoat actually built the naval factory at the pond where, you know, the small pond where on SETONS usually only the commanders hide in this one. But on this version, you can actually build a naval factory here, and then your ships will be able to come out all the same and attack the enemy anywhere. So yes, it feels like Navy might be a little bit more powerful on this version of SETONS. It's already extremely powerful, you know, on normal, but on this one it's going to be even more so. It looks like there were some incursions out from Izumi after, you know, destroying his direct opponent in the middle, Branane. It looks like he was rolling in, destroying some of these mass extractors as well as hydros, but yeah, it was stopped short. Didn't do any significant damage to RatFeast's base. Unfortunately for RatFeast, he's still heavily mass stalling. Like I said, you can't have so much naval production and have no mass extractors whatsoever. In fact, if we take a look at the economy, RatFeast has the worst economy in the game. Nope. This is not going to last, let me tell you. In terms of reclaim numbers, we've got Team 2, nearly at twice the reclaim of Team 1. Have they? Oh, they haven't touched the rocks on the mountains, which is really weird. Nobody's even trying. But yes, in terms of total mass accrued, meanwhile, yes, Team 2 is ahead by 50,000, so it's going to be quite a while before Team 1 manages to catch up. It is, of course, you know, because the mid player died and all of his stuff was destroyed, it's no longer generating mass, but yes. So T3 here has been achieved for a long time now by Killer Bean, of course, already building up a serious fighter force. 16 fighters at 18 minutes isn't like super amazing, but you know, it does the job. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, we've got Kivai making T2 gunships and interceptors. Well, he's almost finished his T3 generator. Let's see if he's not, yeah, he wasn't stalling or anything, so everything is good. He's also got like 1 million energy in storage, interestingly enough. 44,000 energy stored. Where are these? Is it just, okay, let me see. Oh yeah, got tons of energy storage. This is a highly explosive construction. I would advise you to avoid that. Yeah, when you're building so many energy storage units, you really want to split them apart. Oh, but in the meantime, ghetto gunships being constructed by Killer Bean, who is now using them to assault the island of Armageddon. One of the ghetto gunships does get shot down by a whole host of these anti-air turrets, but there are still 2 fully loaded ghetto gunships with light assault pods in the area. Look at these cute little guys. You should not be flying towards the... Okay, they destroy the Mercy, they destroy the anti-air turrets. Yeah, he realizes you can't really do that when there are so many anti-air turrets. It's much better to drop the labs on the ground and then go and clean the entire place up, because there are no point defense turrets for some reason. Looks like Godefroyy has gone for T3 land. He's constructed quite a few T2 PD turrets as well as artillery pieces on the shoreline. Okay, it looks like all of the destroyers out from KillzGoat have actually been sunk, so I suppose those artillery pieces and turrets did their job. However, there is no more navy for Godefroyy, and there is a whole host of torpedo T2 submarines waiting to strike. It looks like Izumi is actually making some headway in assaulting the base of KillzGoat, who has now started work on some T2 PD turrets, but you know, Aeon Tech 2 PD is notoriously bad against Tech 1 land spam. Now, cruisers might help a little bit, because you know, cruisers do have some surface-to-surface weapons, they're just not the best when you're facing frigates, as we found out a few minutes ago. It looks like they might be able to destroy... oh yeah, they've already destroyed, what is this, a T2 mass extractor. There are no T3 extractors here yet, but it seems like that's where they will stop, because there are now gunships out from Killerbean in the area, T3 broadsword gunships, and he has successfully taken over, or not taken over, but completely ousted Armageddon from the island. The sole Tech 2 submarine that Armageddon managed to produce is still roaming around, still looking for more frigates to sink. I wonder if they see the... oh, sorry, I wonder if they see the... nope, they don't. They don't see the naval factories behind them. Alright, looks like the Vesper has finally spotted the frigates, so now a few of them might sink unless... oh, well. Now, yes, now RatFeast is moving them. I wonder how long it's gonna take. RatFeast himself, meanwhile, has finally transitioned to T3 and T2 Navy. I wonder if he's fixed his mass problem. Nope, not even close. Mass problem is not even close to fixing. I would say that, you know, normally when you're making T2 Navy, you want as many engineers as possible assisting those T2 factories, but he hasn't got the mass to afford that, so never mind. Yes, it looks like the frigates are once again going to be making rounds around the shoreline. It looks like the PDs that Kivai built to protect his own shores have in fact been destroyed. The submarines actually attacked the harms that Godefroyy was building and destroyed that. Godefroyy himself is, well, he's completely healthy, but yeah, he's probably not too happy about that. He has queued up a quantum gateway. Now, in terms of quantum gateways and what they do, you usually don't really want to build a quantum gateway until you've upgraded as many mass extractors to T3 as possible. Now, he's currently only working with what looks like 2, which I can see thanks to the advanced strategic icons mod, so that's not very good. And he's also producing torpedo bombers in the meantime, which just get cleaned up by the air superiority fighters of Killerbean. Yeah, it looks like for some reason Kivai is not building air fighters. He's only started working on those now, just built some scouts. He's sending a whole host of Janus bombers against the navy of KillzGoat. No, he was sending them against the fighters, which will never work out. When you've got more T3 fighters in comparison to Janus bombers, the Janus bombers stand no chance whatsoever. And also, notoriously, when you're trying to attack land, Janus bombers are only ever good against T1 and T2 land units, but not ships and not T3 land units, nothing like that. And especially not against T3 fighters in the air. So, for some reason, the destroyers out from KillzGoat have approached the Triad turrets, the Cerberus turrets of Godefroyy, which means they will get sunk extremely easily because normally destroyers outrange the Cybran turrets, and you really would want to utilize that advantage. But I guess he just has so many ships that he doesn't really care. And at least when they approach like this, they are outside of the operational range, or inside the minimum range of the T2 artillery installations. So at least they've got that going for them. But yeah, you don't want to lose your destroyers to enemy Tech 2 PD like that. Oh, a T3 mass extractor being destroyed now. That is not good news for Godefroyy. Oh no, his soul shield goes down. He's still constructing some T2 artillery. Oh, a T3 power generator explodes, destroys a T2 generator nearby. He's running away, reduced into the red, below 3,000 health. Oh! The final shot from the destroyer finishes him off. Well, that was unfortunate. Yeah, he's just produced one of these support commanders. Yeah, before you start producing support commanders, you usually want to upgrade as many mass extractors as you can to T3. At least the ones that are in relatively safe positions, because that's much more efficient in terms of mass generation. So the labs from the island now have been dropped behind the base of Kivai. It looks like, yeah, there are restorers in the area as well as some stingers, which could make short work of these Oh wow, the gunships are targeting the transport. I didn't know they could target transports, but yes they can, so never mind, that idea is dead. However, in the meantime, Killer Bean is taking over the island, already having produced a whole bunch of T2 mass extractors and will make more. Also a T2 factory, which yes, in fact, Killer Bean has gone for Tech 2 land and is now upgrading that to T3. That will hopefully help him stop the advancement of Izumi, who is still trying to make something happen. They have actually built Ravagers. I wonder if those have killed anything. Nope. None of these Ravagers have actually paid off, and probably won't pay off for quite a while because there are no enemies here. And Ravagers are notoriously bad against Tech 1, which Izumi has been utilizing until now. But that might change very soon because Izumi just has constructed a whole massive army of T2 units. Yeah, looks like it's mostly missile launchers, which is a little bit weird. And he's also power stalling like crazy, so he can't support... yeah, he can't support the shields on his obsidian tanks. Okay, now he's got the power. But most importantly, he's got himself a Galactic Colossus, which is very soon, I assume, going to attack. They're standing still for now, not doing anything, but who knows, that could change very soon. Okay, RatFeast has upgraded all of the all of the naval factories in the backline into T2, which, yeah, probably incurred completely insane costs. Minus 200 mass per second in deficit. Yeah, you gotta fix your economy before doing that. Look at this. Yeah, he's still got T1 mass extractors, not a single T3 mass extractor, and most of the T2 ones aren't even capped. Yeah, you can't be producing so many ships with this economy. Even if, you know, even if you're not assisting your T2 factories, still, you've got 6 of them, so no, that is never going to work. It looks like there were some ships that were attacking the positions of Izumi. Yeah, after cleaning up, you know, on the right flank, on cleaning up the enemy beach player, he has decided to attack the positions of Izumi, but it looks like Izumi was ready. And yes, there are plenty of PD turrets, there is a whole host of artillery installations, so T2 Navy is not going to work here. Not going to cut it, you need something else in the meantime. It looks like Izumi is attempting to reclaim what was left of Godefroyy. Again, I'm so glad I'm not going to have to pronounce that name anymore, but yes, he is reclaiming that. In terms of mass income, we can now see that Team 1 is actually pulling ahead, with Killer being quite far ahead of everybody else. You can see 300 mass, with none of the players on Team 2 even being close to 200. Well, okay, one of them is close to 200, but everybody else is hopelessly lagging behind. In terms of total mass accrued, Team 2 is still fairly far ahead, so nothing to worry about just yet. But they really gotta step their mass game up. Especially when you know that most of these mass extractors are now safe. You can also deploy some additional defenses to support them. He's got a T2 land factory headquarters for some reason. Yeah, Team 2 seems to have a bit of a problem with constructing too many headquarters everywhere. Especially in a vulnerable position like this, it's probably not gonna last very long. But oh well. At least he didn't make 2 air factory headquarters, so that's a good start. A first batch of T2 naval units coming out from the rear guard, or not rear guard, sneaky naval factories of RatFeast. I'm pretty sure, yeah, the enemy team still doesn't know they're there. The last remaining submarine Vesper is still somehow alive. A rank T2 veterancy, 3,500 mass destroyed. Wow, this is a true hero right there. An absolute Rambo of a submarine. Still standing up despite, you know, so much T2 Navy on the enemy side. They have now produced their own Barracudas, so they will probably destroy this Vesper very easily if it tries to approach them. And it looks like the hover tank spam out from Armageddon isn't working either, so his solution is going to be to construct a donut, which is almost done by this point. 89% in fact, so yes, very soon we'll see a donut rise up into the sky. Hopefully the donut can take care of this because there aren't too many, you know, anti-air units there. But remember, the air control is fully in the hands of Killer Bean. If we can see, yeah, he's got himself almost 50 fighters at this point. How much does this guy have? 11. Yeah, not a very good look, let me tell you. It looks like RatFeast's commander himself was forced to come out and defend against the invading forces of Izumi. It looks like Izumi's main force is still not moving, still building up. Yeah, I would have liked them to move a little bit further up. At least you could at least stand here, and it would be closer to your targets rather than stand all the way over there and do, you know, be doing nothing and still have like miles on miles to go before you reach anything important. But oh well. We'll see what they do next. Yeah, the enemy team does seem to realize that there might be a very large force building up. Look at that, yeah. Because the map is so huge, you can see that, you know, they've built a T3 omnisensor array on the rock island, and it's only covering like a quarter of the map essentially, even less than that. So crazy distances in this map, definitely room for some sneaky plays if you're up for it. For some reason, oh no, I was gonna say Kivai is sending his fighters forward, but he is not. Just flying around, making sure that no scouts can sneak by, and yes, there goes the donut. The donut is destroying the T2 and T1 navy of RatFeast. Has already lost half of its shield though, and needs to be slightly careful because who knows, maybe the fighters out from Calibration will actually come in. They are making a move towards the donut, but it seems like they wouldn't want to engage over the enemy's base because there are so many SAM launchers here. Look at this weird construction pattern. You've got the T3, T2 mass extractor, then mass storage units around it, and then in the corners you've got SAM launchers of all things. Okay, well, I suppose Armageddon's base is very well protected from air incursions. Unfortunately, his donut really toes the line here a little bit too hard. Flies too far out, and it seems like it's gonna get shot down without accomplishing much. Yep, there goes the donut. Lands on top of two unfortunate engineers, completely vaporizes them. This is a mistake out from Kivai, once again sending a much fewer in numbers fighters against the enemy fighter. Cloud, yeah, he should have been engaging. He should have at least tried to bait the enemy into the SAM launchers of Armageddon. This is not gonna go very well. Does Team 1 even know? Yeah, they don't even see the SAM launchers. They could chase, yeah, you could force them to chase you down, fly over all these SAM launchers, and all of the air force will get obliterated, so a little bit of a shame he hasn't done that. Meanwhile, Izumi has constructed their own donut, so now they've got a GC and a donut, and we'll see where they go from here. Of course, the navy of KillzGoat is still a threat. He's now got himself 5 Omen-class battleships, supported by a whole host of cruisers as well, so those will be a little bit difficult to take down. If, if you decide to take them down by air, for some reason, oh my god, yeah. Please don't do that. When you're behind on air, you don't want to be making Janus bombers. Like, Janus bombers are the last thing you'd want to make if you are behind on air. Like, Corsairs are better, Strat bombers are better, but not Janus bombers. Please never do that. Okay, the fighters out from Kivai are flying into the enemy base. I guess they are trying to create a screen for the donut to attack. The donut will now completely obliterate the commander of RatFeast, so RatFeast is out of the game, and soon his entire base will get destroyed. The fighters of Calibration were doing nothing in the meantime, so they just let their comrade die. Of course, the donut will now get shot down once again because there is nothing else supporting it, and there are way too many fighters for good, and he's not even trying to, laser the ground to destroy a couple extra fighters or anything like that, but that can be hard to do in the spur of the moment, to be fair. In the meantime, Armageddon is working on a Tempest, already halfway done. The donut is being reclaimed, slowly but surely, in order to put more money into the Tempest. Armageddon, let's see if he's got... I was gonna say Armageddon does seem to have the best economy of Team 2, but that's not true. Izumi is actually the best one. That is very much about to change though when you've got 5 battleships invading your territory. In response though, Izumi is finally attacking on land. Yes, Calibration is trying to deal with that using strategic bombers, but there is so much anti-air, including most importantly Redeemers. Well, now they are dead, but they did manage to shoot down all the bombers, so now the Colossus is going to have free reign for a while, especially considering how much flak there is. So yes, it's currently a 3 versus 2 battle against 2 players remaining on Team 1. Yes, extra gunships fly in. These are of course broadswords. Broadswords are notoriously tough. They won't just get, one shot by all the flak, but they still go down because there is so much flak that they can't really deal with that. And most importantly, the Galactic Colossus is still full health and still walking, without showing any signs of stopping. Yes, of course, Izumi's base gets completely obliterated by all of these battleships. He is about to complete a Galactic Colossus, a second one. There you go, the Colossus completes. Well, let's see if it can actually stand up to these battleships, because, you know, they do quite a lot of damage. I'm curious about the damage output of the cannon. It looks like... Yeah, 1000 damage per shot. 170 DPS times 3, so it's essentially a 510 DPS, so yes, the Colossus is actually melting. Looks like it will take down at least one battleship, but after that it's probably just going to die. Yep, there we go. Down goes that. However, the first Colossus is completely destroying the base of KillzGoat, so essentially Izumi and KillzGoat are just base trading right now. There are plenty of Titans coming in from Killer Bean, so yes, he has been producing T3 land the whole time. The fighters of Killer Bean are flying overhead. They're just being easy targets for the flak cannons right now, but it looks like most of the flak cannons have been destroyed, so now, maybe finally, Killer Bean can put a stop to this Colossus using air. Just don't land your fighters next to it. Oh god, that is a mistake. Nope. Okay, he realized the mistake. Yeah, the Colossus should have no problem to deal with this batch of Titans. Yes, absolutely no problem whatsoever. There are 5 T3 naval factories supporting the headquarters of KillzGoat, so yeah, you can pump out those battleships like, you know, hot cookies or whatever the usual analogy goes. It looks like Armageddon is sending a whole bunch of missile launchers against the... Yeah, against the Infinity class cruisers. There are so many missile launchers that are actually breaking through the missile defense, but it is gonna take them a while, and they are being shot in the process, so we'll see how that battle turns out. The battleships, meanwhile, have moved on, are trying to wrap around and attack from the other side, but interestingly enough, KillzGoat calls out the GG and gives all of his possessions to Killer Bean, and his commander explodes. Now, yeah, the transferring won't actually work, because, you know, this isn't being played as full share, so this will all explode in a few seconds. Yep, there it goes. All of the battleships sink to the bottom, of course, immediately. Here they are, right? You can see them sinking. And this is a serious situation for Killer Bean. He's now left alone against 3 enemy players. He's got a Galactic Colossus walking towards his main base and his commander. It looks like the Colossus might die though, because there is no more ground-based anti-air supporting it, and is being shot to pieces by broadswords and bombed by strategic bombers. But in the meantime, would you look at that? All this time, Killer Bean has been working on a Maver. Yes, and he's not even close to stalling mass. Look at this, he's got 40,000 mass in stores still in order to complete that thing. Or try and complete at any rate. He's got plenty of Titans too to defend against the enemy T2 spam. So it looks like this attack will actually fail, even despite, you know, it starting off so well, and Team 2 managing to kill 2 players of Team 1. Looks like the attack will fail regardless, so I suppose there is still a chance for Killer Bean to succeed. With a half-complete Maver, the remainder of the enemy T2 forces going down. He's even building Ravagers in his base just in case. I wouldn't say that it was necessary, but hey, at least they are going to kill something, unlike those Ravagers in the middle. And all of these T2, all these T2 artillery installations. And for some reason, yeah, the T2 force out from Izumi stopped moving. Where it should have kept moving, it might have been able to destroy like a generator or 2, but whatever. That's not important. The important part is that they failed to do any significant damage to Killer Bean's base, and the Maver is already 75% complete, so very soon we could see that happening. Torpedo bombers being sent out by Kivai. He might not be realizing that the enemy battleships have sunk, and still be building torpedo bombers in order to repel those. Meanwhile, a donut has been produced by Armageddon, yet another donut, and is now cleaning up the island, so I guess Armageddon is dead set on taking the island back. I should have also been playing the whole, I should have been casting the whole time with the minimap enabled, but hey, semantics, right? At least we didn't miss anything because we frequently zoom out. Yeah, so it seems like as the donut was about to fall down, it finished off the last remaining sand launcher on the field, or on the island, and should now have completely free reign, destroying everything else. The charred remains of the Galactic Colossus are still lying... Whoa. The Galactic Colossus actually straight up just sinks into the hill with only its legs sticking out. Okay, yeah, the Galactic Colossus buries its head in the sand because it's so embarrassed of dying to 5 enemy gunships. Well, worse has happened, let's just say that. So the air superiority is still building up for Team 1, of course. You've got, yeah, wait, no, never mind, you've got 94 fighters for Killer Bean, or 94 air units, I should say, versus 134 for Kivai. We should compare their fighter amounts, so 81 versus 76. So, well, actually, Kivai did manage to overtake Killer Bean. The problem is that the Maver is now operational and is about to fire his first shots. Let's take a cinematic look at those shots. At this first shot, look at this. Pow! There you go. Yes, the shot goes out. Let's see where that is going to land. Of course, we can't currently see anything from Team 2's base, but it's still, you know, we can still make something happen about that, I'm pretty sure. Let's see if we, yeah, Control V, there you go. It looks like for some reason it's targeting Izumi's base where there is nothing already. So, not the best targeting for the Maver right now. Let's see if it's being, yeah, it's being manually targeted, but... yeah, it looks like it's being manually targeted on something that doesn't even exist anymore. There you go, the shield's going down. There's about 2 T3 massive structures left over in there. Right, you've got 2 donuts out from Armageddon. And he's currently busy, yeah, almost about to construct another donut, or about to start work on that. He's got a Tempest as well, so in theory, I suppose Armageddon could, you know, accumulate so many donuts that the fighters out from Killer Bean won't be able to stop them. And in that case, perhaps Armageddon could, in fact, destroy the last remaining commander using those donuts, and then Team 2 will win the game. We'll see if that happens, though. It looks like, oh my goodness gracious, he started work on another Maver, look at this. And still not mass selling, still 10,000 left in storage. And yeah, he's probably even going to, you know, upgrade some more mass extractors to T3 and stop, you know, stop stalling once again whenever the mass supply runs out, so it's gonna be something, it's gonna be a whole thing. And fighters flying over the former base of Izumi instead of scouts like you're supposed to. Looks like he just lost a few fighters for no reason. For some reason the Maver is still targeting the base though, even though there is nothing left there anymore. Oh well, I suppose sometimes that's just what happens. Sometimes you don't realize you're targeting that which doesn't exist. Really should have stopped firing long ago because you can't even see anything there. But oh well. The gunships out from... whoops. Wrong, sorry. Yeah, the gunships out from Killer Bean will of course clean up all of the blaze tanks that have been trying to attack by sea. Of course, you know, Killer Bean being the highest rated player in this game, at least you can rely on him having a good radar coverage. I wonder where his Omnisensor, yeah, Omnisensor at base. He is still enough to see all of the incoming tanks and whatnot. So at least that's not a concern for him. Land assault will be repelled because, yeah, it looks like now Kivai might be at a disadvantage in terms of fighters once again. Nope, Kivai is still super far ahead. In fact, he's getting further ahead, so he should definitely attack here and try to destroy the opposing fighters and gunships. Not doing that right now though. So the entire attack has been destroyed. The heroic submarine is still keeping watch, making sure that there are no more surprise naval factories from behind for Armageddon. Actually, I wonder if they can even see... Nope, they still can't see the enemy. Still can't see the enemy sneaky naval factories, and that's tons of mass there, by the way. That is, how much is that? Yeah, it's almost 3,000 mass in those factories, so... you would definitely do well to reclaim those, but not doing that quite yet. He's busy constructing his 4th donut. So with 4 donuts and fighter advantage, I think Team 2 should be able to secure the air and then clean everything else up. We'll see what they do though. It should be noted that yes, for some reason Kivai is constructing a nuke launcher. I am not entirely sure how I will solve a problem of 2 Mavers which are protected by a nuke defense with 7 missiles loaded. Oh my goodness. I mean, of course they don't know it, it's fully loaded, but even so. You could try to scout and see. Do they see the nuke defense out from Killer Bean? Yes, they're working with an eye of Ryan. I guess that's been constructed by... No, that's an Omni sensor. Where is the eye? I can't see that. Oh, there is one, yep. One being constructed by Izumi, so Izumi doing pretty well in this game, you know. Being one of the higher rated players of Team 2. Doing essentially all the work, you know, destroying his opponent in the middle, or their opponents, and then pushing through the middle. Destroying, you know, RatFeast, knocking out KillzGoat from the game. Essentially, Izumi has all the 3 kills from Team 2. So, yes, despite being reduced to just, you know, a few power generators and a few shields, he is still doing his best. Still doing what he can to help out his team. Yeah, it looks like all the players on Team 2 are now hopelessly behind Killer Bean, at least all of them individually. Together, they of course do have more mass income, as you'd expect. But even so, they are all working on their separate little projects, so they aren't really as coordinated as the resources of Killer Bean. We'll see if that comes back to bite them, though. The Maver, I am still not sure what the Maver is targeting. It's still... Oh no, the Maver is still trying to destroy the stuff that doesn't exist in the middle. Come on! Come on, Killer Bean! You gotta fix that. Okay, finally. Looks like he's finally fixed that, right? Yeah, let me see if what the Maver is attacking now. Nope, it's still attacking the non-existent stuff. I'm pretty sure he might have just ground targeted that, but well, that is not a good look. Should definitely scout more and see what is actually happening there. The 4th donut completes for Armageddon. So now what? Are you ready to send those donuts in? Because I'm pretty sure Kivai should have more than enough fighters to support you. Somehow, oh, they are flying in like these weird groups. I have no idea how he did that, but yeah, the fighters are flying in those like packs. It looks like there are a lot fewer of them than there actually are. No idea how that's possible, but yeah. Alright, finally scouts flying over the former base of Izumi. Now at this point, Killer Bean should realize that there is no more stuff left over. He's still shooting that though, for some reason. Okay, the fighters... Oh yeah, the fighters from Killer Bean seem to be flying in now. They will destroy a few torpedo bombers that were flying out for some reason, as well as a few scouts. Armageddon himself has produced some fighters of his own, which I don't think he needs, because once again, yes, Kivai does have an air advantage. Oh my goodness, we've got an air engagement over here. Let's see who comes out on top. It looks like... No, Killer Bean doesn't realize that he's at a massive disadvantage, but... Unfortunately, it looks like he's out microing Kivai. Never mind. Now it seems like, oh no, Kivai is on his tail. Oh, okay, there you go. Oh, whoops, sorry for poor camera work. Yep, there you go. All of the fighters from Killer Bean go down. He is now left with only 16. So at this point, yeah, they're free to go. There go the donuts. They're flying out. Oh, but a Maver shot clips Armageddon. Oh no. You know what that means? That means all of these fighters and all of these donuts will fall down momentarily. Oh! Whoa. Just as Team 2 secured the air advantage, just as they wanted to push in, all of the donuts are destroyed because for some reason Armageddon's comm was still chilling in his base. But he knew he was being attacked by a Maver instead of, or his team was being attacked by a Maver, instead of hiding as deep underwater as you possibly can. Well, you know, can't really blame a 700 rated player for that, but yes, it is extremely important, if your game isn't being played as full share, that you hide your commanders as far away from the enemy as possible. Of course, his Tempest sinks to his T3 naval factory is no more. So now it's just Izumi and Kivai left with just fighters and a few strategic bombers and a nuke against two Mavers at this point. Yep, there we go. The second Maver is just got done, I'm pretty sure. Well, no. Maybe it's been done for a while, but yeah. This is slightly worrisome, I'd say. Yes, 2 Mavers firing upon your base when all you've got are some fighters and bombers left over. He's now working on a Novax. He's finally realized that, you know, an indestructible scout, or an untargetable scout I should say, is in fact a pretty good deal, and that you should definitely try to get one whenever you can. But yeah, I'm not even sure it's necessary. Oh, look at that explosion, my lord. And there's another one coming in too. Ooh, destroys the T3. Yep, there you go. That's it. No more T3 air production for Kivai. The last shield's going down, so now all of that is gonna blow up as well. Let me take a closer look at that. Whoops, it didn't blow up. Yeah, the shields went right back up at the last possible second. Let's see. Come on. Let me see the destruction, damn it. Where is it? I demand destruction. Ah, the shields are still going up in spite of everything, in spite of being fired upon by two Mavers. They are somehow still preserving, or persevering I should say. He's also still producing bombers somehow. So that must mean he's got another T3 headquarters somewhere. Okay, come on, show me the big explosion please. I'm begging you. Okay, the big explosion is not happening, I get it. Oh, a ton of Titans actually running towards the base of Izumi, the newly constructed base. Izumi himself was working on a salvation in the meantime. It's 62% complete, but these Titans put the entire project in jeopardy. You really should have constructed a little bit more defenses. Yes, he does have a ton of Oblivion turrets, which Oblivion turrets are really good against Titans. As you can clearly see, the Titans are melting. But yes, now that they've spotted that, the Mavers of Killer Bean, I'm not really used to seeing two Mavers on one player, but yes, the Mavers can just fire like a couple shots here and everything will be destroyed. The Titans are still walking forward. They are now threatening the T3 mass extractors of Kivai. That's also not very good. Kivai has launched a nuke. And it looks like, oh yep, the nuke went into the frontal positions, you know, into those Ravager turrets that never fired a single shot. So now those Ravagers have been destroyed. Izumi does get destroyed by Killer Bean's combination of Titans and Maver. Yeah, the nuke launcher has destroyed 55,000 mass, so that's very much worth it, but the Titans are still here. Oh no! The strategic bombers are dropping bombs on the Titans, destroying support commanders in the process. There is still, I'm pretty sure there was a few Maver shots as well. Right, one Titan. Oh no, they're gonna drop bombs on the. Oh god. Yeah, there you go. Some of these are already being. Yeah, I think it was some of the flares have gone. Sorry, some of the energy storage units have gone down. Barely managing to survive here, the entire base. I'm still not entirely sure how he's producing T3 here. Well, he's not producing that anymore, so I guess he didn't in fact have another one of these. Oh, the strategic bomber gets destroyed by a Maver shell. Not very good. Strategic bombers being fried by a satellite is also not very good, but you know, the satellite will definitely be good for the main base of Kivai. And at this point, it feels like the strategic bombers of Kivai are the last resort that the Team 2 has, the last hope of them winning this game. And they are getting reduced in numbers, you know, by the second, because the Mavers are firing upon them. No, the Mavers are still targeting the ground, firing upon another non-existent base once again. Yeah, I feel like if Kivai was paying attention to what the Mavers were actually shooting, he would have won by now, because the entirety of all of the remaining enemy structures would have been obliterated, especially considering he's got a Novax now. But yeah, the commander of Kivai is actually going all the way back towards the back of the continent, or the island I should say. The big island. Oh, there you go, there's the big explosions. Okay, show me more. I just heard that. It looks like, yeah, a bunch of support commanders got blown up. Come on. Show me another big explosion. What? Come on. More explosions. Oh, there you go. Two Maver shells landing in unison, destroying pretty much everything else. There is only one generator and a few shields left over. Well, I'm glad we caught at least one. The Novax is actually targeting the commander of Kivai. Granted, he does have a shield now, so the Novax won't really kill him. The commander can just leave and dive underwater and the Novax won't matter anymore, but the strategic bombers are actually flying from the right side. It looks like the fighters of Kivai are inside the enemy base for some reason, getting completely annihilated by a whole host of sand launchers. A third Maver being queued up, already over halfway done. So this is it. This is the moment of truth. Does he see the... Yes, he does see the bombers. He doesn't realize it that yet, though. He only sees them on the radar, but not with his eyes. The bombers are flying back for some reason. Okay. Yeah, it looks like he's flying towards the front, where Kivai is just sending a few gunships, which won't matter at all. These are the remainders of... or the remainder of Kivai's fighters, which once again won't matter, because at this point Killer Bean is working with 170 of his own. Yeah, versus 11 left over for Kivai. It looks like a group of fighters is being sent against the bombers. The bombers are flying in some weird direction. They're destroying mass extractors. What? What? This guy's got 2 Mavers and a Novax and you're destroying a T3 mass extractor? Yeah, I can't understand that. Of course, now there won't be any bombers, enough bombers left over to destroy the commander. They are targeting the commander, but nope, not a single bomb lands on him. So it looks like at this point the game is pretty much over. Let's speed it up and see exactly what's going to happen next. The Maver shells are landing on the last remaining mass extractors of Kivai. There you go. The beautiful Maver goodness that everybody knows and loves. Yup, there you go. There you go. That'll do it for the remainder of his base. Kivai is walking towards the corner of the map. I guess he wants to make life as miserable as possible for Killer Bean. And I'm sure Killer Bean doesn't mind because he has finished a 3rd Maver. Yeah, there you go. 3 Mavers. 3 Mavers firing upon the enemy. Almost in sync. Not quite, but almost in sync. Ooh, look at these support commanders run around and try to find more places to build more stuff. Yeah, at this point I'm pretty sure nothing can stop Killer Bean. Kivai is actually flying away on a transport. Gotta be really careful, he got spotted now. Yeah, needs to drop, yeah, there you go. Drops into the ocean. But what is he gonna do now? The scouts are flying overhead. The, Killer Bean knows exactly where he is. And it looks like he's already sending, yep, there you go, a host of torpedo bombers being sent in order to finish the commander of Killer Bean. Sorry, Kivai. The torpedo bombers are from Killer Bean, of course. Alright, come on. Let's see what we've got. Oh, whoop. 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 He is constructing a SAM launcher, which I'm pretty sure is also the wrong call because flak cannons would destroy these a lot faster. But at this point I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter because yeah, the final pass from T2 torpedo bombers will take him out. There you go, Kivai has been defeated by Killer Bean as the entirety of his base has already been completely eradicated by the 3 Mavers out from Killer Bean. So yeah, that is something. That is a whole thing. I hope you enjoyed this replay as much as I did because it was absolutely fantastic in my opinion. A little bit of fun, a little bit of, really funny stuff from both teams, a little bit of throwing, a little bit of, not exactly knowing what you are doing, but that's what, guys like me suffer from. I am like barely above their level, so of course I often make mistakes like that. The important part is that to keep in mind is that you can always look back on your replays and you can always see the mistakes you made, the mistakes your enemies made, and if you're watching a replay that you didn't participate in, also the mistakes other players made, and then you can learn from that. And I hope you've learned something because, well, I'm not sure if I should say I learned something, but I hope I did too. Anyway, this is going to be it for today, so thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, once again, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell for notifications. And yes, for now I have to go, so goodbye, take care everybody, and I hope to see you again on the battlefields of the future.